Lovro Čulina is an HR tech expert with deep experience helping organizations optimize recruitment, talent acquisition, and employer branding. At TalentLyft, he drives go-to-market initiatives that connect technology with exceptional hiring experiences. With a background spanning both ATS and HRIS platforms, Lovro brings a unique holistic view on how modern companies scale their people operations. What part do you think is the hardest for companies to get right when it comes to the candidate journey?
Well, I think it's not a single stage or a single part. It's more likely like several portions of the candidate journey. So I think it's all that comes after the application. To be more precise, I think it's regarding like the speed of communication, the speed of process, which candidates they require more and more nowadays. So definitely still a lot of companies struggle with the admin side of processing the candidates, organizing interviews, collaborating with hiring managers. So that all takes time. And the longer candidates wait, the less likely is that they will accept the offer. So that's, let's say, one part. The other part, which I think they struggle as well, is in regards to the post-interview activities, especially for candidates that didn't get the role. So a lot of companies still, let's say, send generic emails of disqualification after the final round. Where I believe it would be more beneficial to invest a bit more time, give them a phone call, so maybe bump up that human touch at the end as well.
Yeah, and in a world full of automations, what we should not automate?
Well, similar to what I mentioned in the last bit, I think we should not automate connection. So we should automate friction, the admin, but not human connection. So this relates to basically telling a bit more about the company, or as we heard today, actually selling the company vision to gain that trust from the candidates in order for them to be fully motivated to come and work there and apply and everything. But also in terms of, let's say, important moments such as presenting an offer. So here, where we've seen most of our successful users of TalentLyft do that part best, is the ones that actually train their hiring managers to present the offer to candidates. So that's kind of the initial point where that relationship starts between the manager, the employee, because they gain trust as they're being offered an offer from their manager directly. And similar to the last point, I think the last bit we should not automate in terms of providing feedback to the candidate, especially if they made it to the final round but they didn't get hired.
And when you mentioned the offer presentation, should we personalize the way we present the offer depending on the candidate?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think offer and recruitment has some similarities to sales. So it's always the attention to details, right? So even in the beginning with candidates, you're gonna maybe chit chat a bit, learn more about them, about their hobbies, or what are they up to in life, and remembering those type of details and personalizing at least a bit, in the offer, where the candidate maybe says, I don't know, for me, if I work in sales, I'm going to say I'm not that good at cold calls. And then the manager could say, I remember from our initial talk, you said you didn't have much experience with cold calls, but don't worry about it. We're going to provide you with training, or we're going to get you covered. So all those things like that. So I think, it should be personalized, at least that bit.
Yeah. In this, I want to ask also, how can data, like you mentioned, for example, the example with the phone calls, how can data help recruiters be more human?
Yeah. Well, I think data can tell us a lot. So one of the features that we recently launched is related to candidate NPS, or actually measuring candidate satisfaction, where basically companies can ask different types of questions for different types of recruitment processes to see how candidates react and how satisfied they were with that specific stage. So in other words, companies will get data and exact numbers from candidates saying maybe, okay, well, 80% of the candidates didn't like being interviewed by AI, or maybe they didn't like...
only 80.
Only 80, there you go. See, we're on the same page, I think. But maybe, maybe they'll say the assessment was too long, or maybe I didn't appreciate the company sending me assessments before even meeting them. Mm-hmm. So those are the bits where, they can fully understand with data their candidates and basically change or adjust the process so that it's more human.
Mm-hmm. And what's the most interesting insight you have discovered from TalentLyft's analytics or user data?
Well, I think from our users, it's similar to the global trend, and that is that there's less and less job openings. So companies are hiring less, let's say. But on the other hand, there are more and more applicants per specific job opening. So that's one thing, let's say, that's interesting. Another one is, for example, we recently launched another one of our features called one-way video interviews, where candidates can kind of record answers to specific questions, which can be really useful if you have high volume of candidates, so that you can maybe, I don't know, assess their language skills or maybe communication skills and everything. We thought it was going to be a good thing for, let's say, internships maybe or something like that, where you have to process a lot of candidates. But a significant portion of our users actually are kind of afraid that will hurt their employer brand image, because they need that interview part to make buy-in with the candidate as well. So those are, I'd say, two points that we discovered recently.
And how do candidate expectations differ between Eastern and Western Europe?
Well, I think, there is a difference in terms of expectations. To be honest, I believe that candidates from Eastern Europe have lower expectations. Or I think it's it's specific to our part of our part of the region. We're also from Croatia, so I believe it's the same. Where our parents were working one job for 30 years, and then that they're always advising you to go for security, go for safety, go for one job. Well, you'll be there, but it's a completely different world now, right? So we even heard from some companies that it's a red flag if a candidate has been with the candidate so long.
It's that lack of confidence.
Yeah, I think it's a mix of things, but I think it's cultural lack of confidence and everything. So I think it's also the fact that here in Eastern Europe we don't have, let's say, that high of a competition as, for example, Silicon Valley, right?
Exactly.
And in the West, I feel that they're like really equipped, really sharp with, how they present themselves, highlighting their strengths, their weaknesses. They're kind of coached on this like corporate world from the beginning, whereas with us, we're still kind of influenced by our region and everything. And so I'd say we have maybe lower expectations, but hopefully that changes.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
If we look ahead to 226, what do you think the candidate journey will look like?
Well, I think it's not going to change that much as compared to today, but I feel there could be two slight changes, or two different things, should I say. The first one is that I think it will be much harder for candidates to actually get in touch with the person from the company for an interview, especially for hiring managers. There are different tools nowadays with AI and everything, so the process is much more efficient and effective and everything. But consequently, I think that, and what we've heard from candidates is that it will happen that they will have real struggle to actually reach the stage where they speak with the hiring managers, especially for developers, who is like the domain knowledge expert. And the second thing that I think could be, or potentially will be different, is something that we're seeing as well, is this skill-based matchmaking or matching, should I say, where candidates will be basically filling out some type of assessment, or I don't know, some quizzes or something like that, and then there will be platforms or systems that will be able to match their skills with specific job openings for which they're a good fit for.
And do you think this is something important because we in Bulgaria, once you are doing like something closer to that, we're matchmaking the talents in the employees. Is this the future of of hiring?
Well, yeah, I think it is. I think it should be probably like that. Maybe with that part, we'll kind of solve the issue of us or of our region not be able to fully, present themselves or like make a case for higher expectations. So, because we do have like really skillful people, really knowledgeable people here, especially in Eastern Europe. I think if there will be like in the future those type of platforms where we'll be able to present the skills fully and then get matched and get the job opportunities that the people deserve. I think that'll be fair. Yeah.
You have mentioned that there are less positions, less career options that are opened, and and more candidates. In this case, something like the possibility for the employer to reach first the candidate is something good or not?
In what sense do you mean for employer to reach the candidate first?
Not expect to receive from the candidate to reach and apply for a job, but reach the
directly to candidates. Yeah. I mean, that's been a case for some, let's say, senior positions, headhunting, executive, let's say, agencies. In that sense, it's really important for them to create a network, and I think the candidate experience there is much higher because with executive CEOs, you have to maintain a good relationship for the future. So that depends on the seniority, I'd say.
Thank you.
No worries. Thank you.